Welcome, everybody. We're back for another round of FitNation's Lunch and Learn. Thank you in advance for taking the time to join us today. On today's show, we're focusing on online fitness and more specifically, the common pitfalls we see that entrepreneurs are stumbling on right now. And then, of course, how you can correct those in order to scale up to new heights. So who is qualified to help us tackle this topic? That would be Laura St. John. She's a successful entrepreneur herself. She's a mindset coach at Strong Confident Living, and she happens to be based in beautiful Malibu, California. Alongside the steps that we're going to talk about that are kind of business oriented, she's also going to shine a spotlight on mindset and how you can flip some of those struggles in order to reach the goals that you've set out for yourself when you start building this business. So whether you're thinking of starting an online venture, whether you're looking to gain momentum on the one that you've created and it's time to take that next step, or you're just in for a good old-fashioned pep talk from a true professional, there is something waiting for you over the course of the next 30 minutes. I do believe that. Also, if you listen in, you'll be able to receive a promo code to gain access to some of Laura's online content. I'm going to let her cover that a little bit more in depth on her own terms. She knows a little bit more about it than I do. I'm going to stop talking and hand it over to Laura right now. Laura, thank you for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, Alex. I appreciate being here, and thanks to the whole community here that's listening. My goal is to make this absolutely worth your while and pack a punch and give you some tips that may change the course and direction of your business.
Nice. Awesome. Well, always a good starting point. Can you tell us a little bit about your background, a little bit about what you do, where you come from, all of that?
Sure. I think it's relevant talking to anyone in the fitness industry because you go into business because your heart really truly wants to help people transform. And that's literally been the course of my entire life, especially in the health world. It started for me as young as 6 years old when I saw my mom battle cancer and beat it. And, she was given 2 years to live. So getting into health, getting into fitness, for all the people that are out there, I know your hearts are in the right places and you want to work with tons of people. My background's really unique because not only did I witness that as a young child, I then went into an education company that I started with my family, and we trained children on how to believe in themselves using technology as a creative tool versus a toy. And we grew it to 700 locations. So it's something that I've always thought big on, like how do you train people to unlock their potential? And we do that through fitness, but we did it first through kids and working with educators and principals and teachers, scaled that company, partnered with Discovery Channel, worked with Discovery Kids. And then we were like, how do we take all these amazing principles that we've created in the classroom and for teachers and divert that into the health and fitness industry so we could really blossom something that would be unique? And we started opening gyms in Denver, Colorado, about 2012. So I spent about 15 plus years in the education sector, grew that company, and then diverted into the health and fitness sector. I'm an entrepreneur at heart, which is why I want to share some business tips that will help people that are listening in today. But I noticed, when we applied this to the whole fitness world, we met up with a lot of fitness people. And I noticed that sometimes there were fitness people at heart, but not necessarily entrepreneurs first. Mm-hmm. Our businesses really flourished. We opened up 3 gyms. It was a big sensation in Denver. And luckily, we decided years ago to also include an online component. We really pushed the edge on that before it was a thing because of our years in education and technology with kids and recognizing, what we did in that genre. So I think we've got a really unique skill set because in opening gyms and developing an online piece, we were really ahead of the curve before, all of this hit in our world, and people really recognized it would be a great thing to also reach people outside the walls of our gyms. Mm-hmm. And so we built a company called Strong Confident Living to work side by side with our gym that was under a different brand. And it exploded. We realized that, wow, we can really take the energy of the magic that's happening inside our fitness, inside working with our clients, and reach more people on the outside. We moved to Malibu, California, a few years ago to get out of the walls of our gym. So we would push ourselves to the next limit and really push our online content to the next limit. And mm-hmm. It happened. I shared, my personal story that, we moved here, we got hit by a fire, 700 homes burnt down. And we quickly realized that wow, we need to really, focus online. We sold our gym business And, we focus 100% online now, but I'd love to help, answer your questions and walk through the pitfalls of what I see.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and I think what's going to be especially valuable today is we of course specialize in the fitness industry. We have a lot of voices from the fitness industry too, but I think where you can provide some additional insights is that if you're not, you didn't grow up exclusively in the fitness industry. So some of these outside perspectives that you can bring, I think are going to be super valuable. So over the course of today, related to online fitness, we're going to focus on reaching better audience, packaging training programs, giving better energy through the camera lens, building different packages for people to kind of scale up with, landing partnerships, and then of course the big one, mindset. So I think our conversation will kind of weave nicely in between those, but let's just talk about when people start to go online. I think that the initial thought is that they're going to have clients all over the globe, right? And some do, you do. And so how would you say, from kind of getting started, how can they start to reach their audience, starting from local and then building it out from there?
Yeah. I mean, I believe mindset's everything. So what you need to do first and foremost is whatever you're thinking, think bigger. Mm-hmm. There's a big world of people out there that are really seeking your services. You have to know who you are. You have to know the kind of energy that you want to translate out to people. You want to be really in touch with how you want to make people feel. I think it's about really creating a very tight nucleus and recognizing at the onset that you've got to show up as the same human being, whether they're in person in front of you or whether it's through the camera, which we could talk about. But recognize that, there's a broader audience that's out there that you may not be able to reach right now that actually might hit your specialty. We found through the pandemic, for example, that in Denver, when we owned gyms, we were like the tough, like HIIT workout, full body conditioning. We had this reputation of Pearl Street Fitness, our gyms, that, it was like one of the toughest workouts that people would talk about around town. And in the online space, we were able to sit back and truly recognize where are our specialties? Who do we really love to help? And where beginners would never walk through our front door, I would always be that front desk person, as people would walk through the door. And I'd think, I'd see the people with wide eyes walking through our gym. And I'd be like, I wonder about all the people who are too scared to open that heavy weight called the front door. And I wonder how we could reach those people. So it starts with a spark where you're like, okay, I see the people that I'm reaching right now. Who am I not reaching that I would love to reach? And my husband and I looked at each other because we run the businesses together. He's the fitness trainer, I'm the mindset coach. And we were like, you know what? Beginners, who's really speaking to the beginner market in a way that doesn't talk down to them, that doesn't make them feel like, all right, well, here's what you should do. But like that person that's over there in the corner has your modifications. And we realized with our years of education and are working with kids that we could speak to beginners and lift them up. So what I'm just trying to, what in terms of the audience gleaning from this message is you may reach a whole other subset of people and you got to keep trying different things. So we were able to completely replicate our tough HIIT experience online, and then I was also able to recognize that people needed my mindset classes to hold on to in terms of retention, which is huge for everybody out there. And then we were able to reach a whole brand new audience that we just had never served before, and in a very special and rewarding way. Yeah. So really think outside your box a little bit about, what's like breathing to you in terms of ease, and who can you speak to that's beyond just your current audience.
Nice. Yeah. And maybe not to deviate too much from the conversation, but in our pre-conversation, we talked about the online business that you guys do run. I think it was pretty interesting to learn, that you were doing this, 7-8 years before this huge avalanche of everybody feeling like they need to go online with COVID. But maybe you could talk a little bit around the facts and figures of the online fitness community that you guys have built up.
Sure. And everyone's welcome to join it. We actually have a ton of fitness people. We have it's an umbrella brand, Strong Confident Living. So we really welcome everybody to participate fully in it. Sometimes people have their clients go in it because we created an online supportive atmosphere for anyone who's just looking to get more active, healthy, and fit. That's in a non-judgy way. So wherever people are coming in from, which is why they can come in at a beginner level, any level. And it's very mindset infused. Since I'm a mindset coach, it's like, just come as you are, get surrounded by people. We quickly recognize, and I'm sure everybody listening can attest to this, that accountability is definitely huge for retention. And retention is huge for business. So what we were realizing is that in our real gyms, that people were getting together outside of the gyms. They were, going for races. They would hang out at a bar on Friday nights, and we would hear this the following week, and we'd be like, "Isn't that so cool that we're creating this atmosphere that all these people are starting to collaborate outside the walls?" So we're like, "How do we translate into that experience now?" We formed a Facebook community. It's a private community now. It's over 38,000 people, Strong Confident Living community. And again, we didn't name it our gym name. We actually we intentionally broadened it. And we said, this is going to be a community. Everybody's welcome all over the world. And this is our mission, right? To get healthy and happy together and in this non-judgmental way, just be the example of what's possible. So my husband and I made a commitment that we would just show up in this community, whether there was 38 people, 3,800, 38,000, 38 million, because it's not about us and the number of followers. It's about the kind of leader that we're going to be by holding ourselves accountable, so we can be the example of what's possible when we hold ourselves accountable to being strong and confident. So we show up, and people love, when we're having a hard moment or a hard day, and it's not all smiles and rainbows, and even as a mindset coach to really be like, this is how I navigate it down. This is how I still see a positive outcome. This is how I get through it all. And what I found is that most people embrace the struggle, just like, when you got another rep in you, and when to push your client to the next step. People really embrace, from a human spirit perspective, when you're in a struggle. And that's what unites us, because we all struggle. And then to push that struggle to inspiration and form a community that's online where people are sharing their stories. It became extremely organic, because it's very authentic. It's very honest, and people can feel that at its heart.
Excellent. Awesome. Well, yeah, anybody who's listening, be sure to check it out. I think I'm definitely going to make sure to check it out after this show. And make sure to let me in, please. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes.
In the club. All right. So yeah, as far as then, if we want to think about the content that people actually start seeing once they're inside of this, I think it sounds like it's very community driven, which is, this is like the holy grail for anyone who is doing things online, is that their members are also contributing to this. It's not just a one-way stream, right? But you guys are also publishing content for them. So maybe if you want to talk through what you guys have learned as far as your best practices for packaging a training program for someone who is using your services online. What does that look like for you in terms of success?
I mean, you just have to start. Usually most people are paralyzed in getting things perfect before you start. And, just start, because we started first by offering it for free, and we started years ago on Periscope and Twitter when that first came out. We had this idea back in 2012. We're like, we're going to be these online leaders. And, because we did it for the kids' education business. And the technology didn't even exist then. So as Periscope came out, as Facebook Live came out, we would just stop, drop, and work out. And we called it the Worldwide Workout. And we did this 15-minute free workout for the world. It was our give. It was our contribution, because again, we're like, it's got to be about them and not us. And if they just see us doing it, if they see us stopping and dropping and working out on the side of the road in a cornfield when we're driving across country, or, working out at the side of our gym outside, or, just really anywhere around the world, we would create these worldwide workouts, we'd call them. And it also gained so much traction and momentum. We were in Shape magazine, we were in Women's Health. We were pushed as look at what this couple's doing. And people were always like, why are you doing it for free? And I'm like, because again, it's just to show the world that you can transform, you can change. And I knew also from a business perspective that if I could just build the audience and get them to know us and love us and trust us and be part of this incredible community and feel like a valued member, with or without them purchasing something, that they were going to be welcomed into this community, then those who want more will find you and buy programs. You know, it's just like anyone who wants more, they want my mindset classes, they love my style, they want my business tips, they want to learn how to set epic goals. Well, then they'll join. And it's not this push, it's more of a magnetic pull, that you're not chasing after people and dollars. You're creating a much bigger vision for yourself, which is what I see a lot of people fall into as a pitfall. They're like constantly putting out fires. And we know as former gym owners, as business owners, like you can get really stuck in the day to day, you know, answering emails, like worrying about this, worrying about that. And you've got to set up time to carve like strategic space. And that's what we've created. We're like, we didn't realize until we just self-created this stuff that we were developing a roadmap to help people really push their thoughts and their visions to bigger limits so they could grow their business differently. They could, you know, I call them manifesting mistakes, like, because people just, I'm like, you're intentionally trying to create something, but you keep falling in the same pitfalls.
Yeah.
We identified those very quickly. And then we created the roadmaps around them that we follow. And then thousands of other people have now followed.
Nice. Yeah. So it sounds like what you guys, a lot of it is really, it's almost like, you know, the concept of paying dividends, right? Like you're setting this up now, it grows, it grows, it grows. And then eventually that's when you can start, like everyone starts to reap the reward for it. Because at the beginning, as you say, like it wasn't the main goal to just make that immediate dollar right away. It was value sharing, right?
Yeah. I mean, immediately we wanted to break even right away, you know, as business owners, but what happens is the vision has to get so broad, and this is where your mindset, you know, has to be stretched in. You know, first of all, it has to be clear. A lot of people aren't super clear in what their goals are, and they know very tightly what they don't want, but they don't know as tightly what they do want, and it's more vague. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed is when you are learning to stretch yourself and think bigger from a mindset perspective, that why not you? Why not grow a multi-million-dollar business around your gym concept? Why not? You know, it all starts with a vision, but most people get sidetracked by the smaller problems and detoured by them. Where if you just stretch your vision, you don't see those problems and challenges as, you know, they're just bumps versus like feeling like the biggest roadblocks or hurdles. So most people just, once they clarify their goal, or they go through my, you know, epic goals courses and things where they learn this roadmap to stretch themselves and not get sucked into the everyday, because it's exhausting. It's you actually get back into why you started this business, why you were inspired, and you take it, and it can grow fast once you tap into the right track for yourself.
Gotcha. Nice. And another big part of online is that you need to be the face there. You need to be engaging, and you need to have engaging kind of camera presence, right? I think this is where a lot of people maybe got tripped up, or a lot of organizations as well. You know, we work with a lot of gym chains, and we were seeing cell phone videos with terrible camera quality and workouts, and, you know, people, it was, to be honest, not to be mean, but like there was some bad content being published. And you know what? It was a completely new situation, especially at the beginning of the pandemic. So people were learning on the fly. That being said, you guys, you know, you have good energy on camera. You say your husband also is very, very proficient at this. So what kind of tips do you guys have for translating that energy you offer in studio, but more, you know, just digital only?
Isn't that amazing? Because so many people are like incredible, like can read the room, can read the energy, you know, rotate around, like know exactly when to be like, oh, you got another rep in you, like that personal touch. You got to identify, and then, you know, but then fall flat in front of the camera. So it does take practice. I look back on my original videos, and even for my mindset classes, even my mindset classes, you know, that are out there now, you know, and packaged into online content. I've packaged 111 of them, but I've created over 6,000. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, you know, it does take practice, and you just got to start. Like I said, it's not going to be perfect in the beginning. You have to lose the self-judginess. You got to lose the self-criticism. You got to just be like, oops, I'm learning, you know, I'm going to go through it. But you got to recognize what does make you so special in that more personalized setting, in whether you're a personal training you know, expert, or whether you open a gym and you're moving a whole room of people. You got to truly identify what is it that the audience, when I'm in real life, loves about me, you know, loves about my delivery, and how do I translate that energy through the camera lens so they're feeling it, And the way I always imagine it is that because a lot of people go flat right at the device, and it's just as if they're talking to the device and the energy stops and it gets flat. The way I see it, and it took practice, is as I look through the camera lens, I imagine the person sitting in the living room, listening to my mindset classes or taking mad notes on like all the steps that I give them, on the worksheets and stuff. Same thing with my husband. When we are delivering our content, and it's hilarious because we've been together since we were 19 and 20, and now we're 45 and 46. So there's a hilarious banter that people love, and that's what we realize. We're like, people love our entertainment value of our fitness classes. They love that they can laugh with us. They love that they feel like they're at the beach with us in Malibu. They love that like the dog walkers going behind us and we don't stop because we're like kind of perfectly unedited on purpose, to show people it could be good quality, but it's also real life. And we just want them to keep going. Even if the dog comes and sniffs me while I'm working out, we're going to keep going. We're going to produce this video. So there's some cool elements that you have to decide. What kind of energy do you want to translate? And then you got to listen to your audience right away. Because you might look at it and be like, man, I look beautiful and look at the ocean and this is awesome. But if they're not receiving it in the same way that you see it, who cares? You're making it then about you. So we immediately, I call it like kitchen tests or whatever, like we immediately would produce content, get it right out to our friends and family and be like, tell us how it is. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like. Tell us what you think. And then, but not like, then just gather all that and then use it as data, but then don't change your business because of one or two people that are super judgmental or one or two people that like really want you to change it for them. Make sure you still are sticking to your core values and what energy that makes you so special inside that you want to translate through the camera and see those people. Like my husband in our fitness classes, he goes up to the screen and he gives the cues, like, okay, put your head back, da, 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 da. Like he knows exactly as a fitness trainer, what's probably happening on their side, he's, obviously like anyone listening, you're cueing. And people are like, I don't know how he does it. It feels like he's in my living room. So it's this very personal approach, but I'm in the background and I'm one with the audience. And it's hilarious because I'm kind of giving him the finger. We call it PG-13. I give him the pinky finger. Like I'm complaining, like I'm actually one with the audience. So we've developed something that I think is unique and funny because we're unique and funny. Like if you were working out with us, you'd laugh with us. So we created that experience online, and that's what you all need to do. You just have to be like, I have to be 100% myself and make sure that's not just stopping at the little camera lens, that it's getting through to the other side, and, do a ton of surveys and questions to just like a group of 10, 20 people.
Yeah. Okay. Very, very actionable advice. And yeah, I think it is something, it's not going away, right? Like video, just kind of this video digital engagement. We realize after this pandemic, it's going to be here, and it's actually going to be a huge part of like the revenue vertical for a lot of the businesses that we work with. So it can be the difference between someone continuing to watch your online content or going somewhere else for it, because there is a plethora of it out there. So I think that's very good advice. And we've touched a little bit on building different programs, but as far as building different packages, it sounds like you guys have really found a good formula for this, especially with mindset and fitness. I imagine there's some combinations of both, or taking one or the other. Maybe you could give some insights on how you guys run this, both with your current business and the previous ones in the educational space.
Great. I mean, we were ahead of our times even when we worked with Discovery Kids and we moved our online content eons ago into the online space. So we developed a subscription-based model back then, before subscription models were a thing. But, we looked at what we did in our gyms. We had the monthly unlimiteds. We had, we had the class packs that they could just buy, 6-pack or a 10-pack of classes. So we kind of translated that to the online experience, but you have to recognize, again, what differentiates you. How do you want to price yourself? We want to price ourselves for the masses. So do you want to be, more exclusive, high end? Have it match, have it match your goal. My goal was always, I want to reach millions of people. Like even here in Malibu for mindset coaching, I'm always like, I could charge thousands and thousands of dollars. I coach celebrities, I coach, pro athletes, I coach all kinds of people. But, at the same time, I would rather reach the masses with my online content. So yes, can I charge top dollar here? Absolutely. But I also want to, with my online content, reach a whole other group that I'm not reaching. So we package things in multiple ways, knowing the psychology of sales, that people want to, do something that matches kind of their buying patterns.
Yep.
So take a look at what's working in your current business. In our gym business, we noticed, it was like 50-50 or 60-40 between memberships that wanted to just people, ding their credit cards every month. And some people don't like that idea. Some people just want to have the package and have the control of when they, come to their classes. So we mirrored that in the online. We also separated out fitness and mindset. So people, who have fitness programs, like many people that are listening right now have their own fitness programs, but wanted to get my mindset classes because, I realized my courses, body image, stopping emotional eating, how to set a goal and actually attain it, were actually the mindset classes were keeping our people inside our fitness programs because, they weren't quitting on themselves. They were recognizing the day they didn't want to wake up and go to the gym, they would be motivated by my mindset and they'd reconnect with what inspired them in the first place. And that would then have them come and walk back into our gym or take our online fitness class. So the combination of the two was really interesting, and separating them out because they're very two distinct things, but they do work cohesively together, which is why I love now working with tons of fitness people, because I'm like, you don't have to take my husband's. You could literally, like, all you on all your people could just do the mindset, because it's going to help your business. It's going to help them be retained in your business. And that's really what we saw. So we separated out the two packages. So that's another thing that I would recommend if you also do nutrition or you also do other things, offer combination packages that they could combine them, but you can a la carte. But I don't a la carte everything. Like I do a 6-week, how you can do I do a 6-week unlimited pass to mindset and have an entry point. So we had done a free trial for a while. And then I was just like, you know what? Like, I want people to commit one step more. And so we came out with a $19 pass that's just 6 weeks of all the mindset content. Or a $19 pass, 6 weeks to all the fitness content, because it gives people that entry point if they're logical mind second guessing you or your package and they want to see, is this a match for me? And so, I think that's an important thing, is what are the entry points in? So you're just getting people to walk through the door without them second guessing, is this a match? And then grow it from there. I mean, I have packages that are hundreds of dollars, for just mindset, hundreds of dollars for just fitness. Or we have the subscription model where it's, they can just subscribe monthly and not have a one-time fee. So you have to, take a look at our different packages on Strong Confident Living and see what resonates with you, but know that it has to match what is already working for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, a little bit of a sidebar to this conversation. I mean, if I think of my own gym, I know we're focusing on online today, of course, but if I think of my own physical gym, they have nothing in terms of mindset coaches or any sort of these kind of resources to tap into. How many gyms or studios do you see offering this right now? Do you think this is going to be
rolling out in hundreds and hundreds of different places? Physical gyms. We just made a relationship with a company that is having us roll out in 100 different college gyms. Okay. So, this is what I'm talking about in terms of thinking bigger, because a lot of gyms were closing. And what companies can we even partner with? So they're getting our fitness, they're getting our mindset, and maybe because the students or the dorms, are closing their gyms and stuff. So you got to, again, start to think outside the box of who can I be reaching with my content that I'm not reaching right now, because it's kind of neat when you land bigger partnerships and then you see your content just getting, spread out in 100 locations versus just thinking small and just trying to reach out to someone down the street. So it's really fun to just see our content now going into all kinds of platforms, all different uses, all different markets. And, I love working with students. So it's really fun to even see this rollout now happening, with a big partnership.
Awesome. Yeah. And on that note of partnerships, kind of a good segue into one of the next topics that we wanted to make sure we cover today. It sounds like you guys have had a huge amount of success doing this as well. So, talking about that kind of the fuel to the fire, if you will, in terms of landing new partnerships and bigger partnerships, How have you guys kind of navigated these waters, and what advice would you have there?
Awesome. Again, you have to know so clearly who you're not, so you know who you are. You know, we know we are fitness infused with mindset, and then we are also mindset in it on its own, because my husband and I come together in Strong Confident Living. So fitness plus mindset to completely flip people's lives around, have them think bigger and achieve massive goals. So we have to be that example of that ourselves. Our goal, you have to decide, how many people do you want to impact? You know, is it hundreds? Is it thousands? Is it your local community? Is it the globe? We think really big. So our whole thing was, we want to, you know, put a dent on this planet. We know we can't do this just ourselves. That's why we love partnering with other gyms. We love partnering with fitness people, because again, like I said earlier, we know people's hearts are in the right place. When you get into this world, you're not sometimes thinking, oh, I'm going to be a gabillionaire. You're thinking, I want to help people. And that's who we always want to align ourselves to. I believe it's important that you identify, once you know your core values. Ours are family, fun, fitness, freedom, you know, knowing what your core values are and that you breathe them every single day. You are the walking example of your core values. You know, align that to companies. Like, for example, we were both ambassadors for Lululemon for a while. You know, we get approached by companies who say, I can align to the values of personal development or this that you guys represent. You know, and it's really neat to then not be again chasing, but also like just stoke the fire a little bit. I was getting emails about this podcast. So what did I do? I emailed your company saying, hey, like maybe there's a collaboration here. This is what I do so clearly. I'm a mindset coach. I help people think bigger. I help people really achieve their dreams faster. I identify where the pitfalls are. I clean those mistakes up for people so they can step into their power. And, you know, it's cool because you guys immediately emailed me back. And here we are today having this collaboration. And there's no coincidences that people will be listening, being like, oh, I want to work with Strong Confident Living, or this really speaks to me, or I want to be part of the people that want to make a dent on the planet with them. I want to be part of this, you know, through all of our companies synergizing. So I think you have to think bigger, but again, know who you are, and then identify some companies. And you know what? Sometimes I throw some things out and companies don't come back to me, and I don't get hung up on it. So it's enough to reach out to a company being like, I think, you know, gosh, I think like this would be so cool if we work together. And they don't, you know, they don't get back to me. I don't get sucked into it. I'm like, not meant to be right now. Let me keep going. You know, ClassPass reached out to us years ago when they were first launching an online business, because they saw what we were doing for free on Facebook. And we were part of their very first 2017 ClassPass at Home, before it was even called ClassPass at Home. We were one of the top, I think, 13 gyms around the whole world that did a licensing agreement with them to before, you know, so it was neat because again, people are watching you sometimes when you don't even know you're being watched. But because we were like, we want to reach more people, we worked with them, met with them in their New York City office, and collaborated with this concept of how do we get our online stuff up there. And now our stuff is still in, you know, we just posted out a whole new thing with ClassPass at Home. So it's really neat because now that's just for us a lead in, because people are taking our beginner workouts on ClassPass, but then they're going to Strong Confident Living and they're finding us. So instead of looking at all these things, where I noticed gyms in Denver, when we own gyms, we're like, you know, like it's taking away our business. And I'm like, no. Like, how do I look at this relationship and leverage it? They're not taking away my business. How do I use this relationship in a way that's going to help me reach more people? And if that's always how you're thinking, you're going to look at your partners differently. You're going to look at your local gyms owners differently. I see no one as competition. I see like, how can we create together to really impact people?
Awesome. And as we start to wrap up a little bit here now, mindset has been one of the common themes throughout this. So maybe, you know, if someone say they don't really know, I mean, we hear say some buzzwords on how we can do this, but they're not really sure how they can actually start to actively turn that tide. Maybe you can give our listeners some tips on how to have that vision and the attitude to really start getting there, like how to actually start making change on that.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with you, is that there's a lot of philosophy out there, but not a lot of how to. That's extremely practical. Roll up your sleeves. Let's get to work. Let's do it. And that's really what we offer at Strong Confident Living. That's what my mindset classes are known for, taking it from a book or perspective and turning it into action. That's simple. One of the things you can do right now is literally fold a piece of paper in half and flip it on top and identify 3 things that you absolutely want to change about your business, things that you're ready to let go of. And don't go more than 3. Like literally it'd be like, this is what I don't want. And then on the flip side, this is what I do want. And these are the kinds of tools that are inside my mindset classes, but I'm just going to kind of give you guys some sneak peeks so you can have some takeaways of identify truly where you think you're struggling, where you feel like you keep falling into pitfalls, whether it's your self-limiting beliefs, whether things that are just keep recurring, and identify them so they don't own you. You're looking down at them, and then flip them to the other side. So it's like, if you clearly don't have enough, of marketing or not enough clients walking through the door, well, don't go into action from that place. You're coming from lack. You're going to self-sabotage or be inconsistent or feel exhausted. I move people into the other side where you're like, well, I clearly want more clients. I clearly want to bust into, amazing partnerships or grow my revenue. And then you move into action from that side. So some of the tools that I love to teach people are very simple and practical tools like this, where you're taking out a piece of paper, you're identifying these things, and going through my classes, you'll see that I give you the roadmap. So you just stick your business into it. Like you literally, like, here's the framework, but you put your own content in, which is your life and your business, what is holding you back. But I'm showing you where most people fall down and where you can just quickly get back up and flip it. Another fun tool that you can do that I have like a success story on is that you can write yourself a future congratulations card from your future self to your current self. I'm really known for a lot of these tools. Again, I have 111 tools in my mindset classes, but these are my top few. Write a congrats card from your future self, like from 6 months from now, that have like, you crushed it, like, and in third party. So dear you, congratulations, you did it. You stepped away from, whatever you guys are stuck in terms of fear or your business not working or something else. And you stepped into your power. Now you're crushing it. Now the clients are coming to you. Now the partnerships are coming to you. Your abundance is soaring. You're, like all the people that are coming in are loving what you have to offer. Congratulations. I knew it was in you, and read that kind of thing to yourself every day. So I give you these little tools that are mindset tools, whether I'm coaching, because I've coached Team USA, gymnastics, I've coached elite athletes, I've coached NCAA athletes, and these are the tools I even do with the athletes. But I did these tools even, like I said, with our people who would walk into our gym being like, I need to lose 100 pounds, or I'm getting ready for a bikini competition, or whatever it is. These are tools that literally will work with your business. They'll work with your people, and these mindset tools that I give will literally help leverage your business.
Awesome. I think, there's definitely some things that I think that will be good. I think, as you said, that people can use it both for the business, their day-to-day, but then if they're also using it on their customers, that's going to create better retention there. So it is multi-purpose. I think there's going to be some good value for people to check out. I think this would be a good time. We discussed the promo code to your content that you wanted to share with us. Maybe if you want to speak a little bit about that, and then also where our listeners can go to actually find this and find more about you guys and what you're doing here.
Awesome. So, everything's at our main website, strongconfidentliving.com. If you go to strongconfidentliving.com/Laura, Laura, my name, you'll get to just my mindset content. So for you personally, as a fitness person, whether you're a personal trainer, owning a gym, you would benefit from I'd say to everybody, just the entry point, the $19 6-week crash course. Go through all the Epic Goals courses, see for yourself how it will help you. And then again, once you're in, you'll be part of then my live coaching event. So, you get the 6-week self-paced course on everything. So you see the whole roadmap. And when you go to strongconfidentliving.com/Laura, you'll see all the courses that you have access to. But I really highly recommend for you all who are listening, the No Excuses course, the Be Boss Not Bossy, the No Excuse, the Setting Epic Goals and Crushing Them courses, because you'll immediately apply that into your business. But what you'll also see as a professional is the content inside that would benefit your clients, which is the body image courses, the Stop Emotional Eating courses, again, the Setting Goals courses, the Boosting Confidence courses, because those courses were designed to help people retain their fitness business. Because again, people, it's not usually you, hopefully it's never you, the reason why they're leaving, it's themselves. They're quitting on themselves. Yeah. So, why do people quit on themselves? They fear disappointment that hasn't even happened yet. They fear failure. They fear a future failure. and their alarm doesn't go off one day, or they're really stuck on a bigger problem in life. You know, my son's going through this, my mom got in a car accident, this happened, I'm going through a divorce, or whatever it is. And they have life happen. And what my mindset courses will teach your clients is life's going to happen. But this is actually why you need the self-care routine in addition to the fitness program, and how they're married together, because mind and body are married together. And I'm sure you as fitness professionals know, because you're also mindset coaches through your fitness experience. You help people transform physically, and it is changing their mind. And when you mesh these two things together, because we've done it very successfully with my husband's fitness. So take away my husband's fitness, insert yours, and this could really benefit your client. So I first welcome you guys to do that. And then if you want to continue on beyond the 6 weeks, I set up a FitNation code. So you just type in FitNation to the bigger package, which is $249. And I'm giving it to you guys for half price. So it's $125 instead of $249. So just know that you get a 50% off deal to the bigger thing, which is a lifetime access to all my mindset classes. So you can tap into this roadmap and all my live coaching events forever. You know, it's just, you'll see all this stuff inside. And then, you know, once you're in, you can decide if this is something you want to offer your clients. We have awesome affiliate programs and different things, because we work with a lot of fitness professionals who actually turned this into an additional revenue generator for them. So if that's of interest to you, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. I'm always like abundance for all. I'm definitely open for anyone to become an affiliate as well.
Awesome. Well, super generous for the promo code. Thank you for that. I hope a lot of our listeners are able to take advantage of it. And yeah, as you say, like with the revenue generation, I think all fitness businesses right now are looking for new revenue streams and trying to find new creative ones as well. So I genuinely hope that some of our listeners can take you up on that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a win-win, because it'll not only help boost retention, but it can also be a revenue generator at the same time. So you're sharing something of extreme value with your audience. And, you know, then, you know, moving forward, we split 50% of the proceeds with our affiliates, which is another like amazing thing. A lot of people only give tiny percentages. And I'm like, again, there's billions of people on this planet. Let's help them all.
Absolutely. Awesome. Well, Laura, I want to thank you a lot for taking the time to join us today. A very highly energetic session and a lot of good takeaways for our listeners. We'll include the show notes of how people can find your content, the promo code, everything like that. So once again, thank you for taking the time to join us.
Thank you for having me, and good luck, everyone. Do not quit on yourselves. Keep going.
Great. All right. This has been another week of FitNation's Lunch and Learn. We will see you next time.